Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry I am a minute or two late as I get my phone situated here. Oh, shoot. Okay. I heard something crack. So, anyway, hello, we're here, we're live. I hope. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am here to do our Monday mini medicine card readings. And I just got home within the last half hour and scarfed down some food. And so I'm still getting set up here. So video, there we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh, okay. I'm still getting my feet under me. Came home to about 3 or 4 fire trucks to be joined by at least 2 or 3 more and a whole bunch of sheriff cars. So I am not sure what's going on. Been running to the window to see if I could figure anything out, but haven't yet. So it's been an interesting night. But I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and I will explain in a minute what we are going to do here. So if you are new, we are going to do some mini readings. I've got my medicine card deck here. The cards all have different animals on them, and so it's similar to a tarot reading, only except it's working with the animal spirits rather than the tarot. So, okay, what am I doing? Aha! Just gonna light some stuff to smudge my cards. And come on in. Thank you again for joining me. I know it gets kind of crazy at the beginning, especially when I'm running late and I'm like, oh my God. But so what we do, I am going to pull 3 cards from the medicine card deck. And your only job is to choose a number between 1 and 3. And then I will do kind of a miniature reading for each card, and whichever card corresponds to the number you chose, that is the animal guide who has chosen to walk with you this week and share their wisdom, their courage, their special qualities with you. And when we are done, if I have time, I don't always, because I tend to talk a lot, because this is one of my passions. This is what I do, and I like to talk about it. So, but if I can refrain from talking too much, we will do a guided meditation / shamanic journey at the end, so that you can meet whichever animal chose you and get your message right from them. Because no matter what I say, to you it's still secondhand knowledge. It's still hearsay. And as a shaman, my job is to empower others and to help others learn to trust their own intuition, their own guidance. And so I like to do whatever I can to help empower you to hear the messages for yourselves. So, all right, I'm just going to shuffle up the cards. Shuffle up, I guess. And I'm a little tired tonight. I've been at Crescent Moon Gifts in Tacoma all day from 11 to 6:30 doing readings. But I always look so forward to doing this. This is one of the highlights of my week, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. So, okay, here we go. Drink of water. And 1, 2, 3. All right. So we have 3 cards on the table. Choose your numbers if you haven't already. And here we go. So, number 1 is bat. Bat has been coming up so often lately for pretty much everybody. Bat medicine is about rebirth. Bat is when your world is starting to shake up, right? The ground, the foundation of your life, where you used to put your weight to support you is no longer there. It's shaking up. It might be there, and then it might not, and then it might be there. It's like waves and craziness, so that you can't, you basically can't ground downwards like you normally would. So it's time to be like bat and ground upward, ground to spirit. Bat hanging on the ceiling of the cave, right? And so bat grounds to the ceiling, towards spirit. And it's like your whole perspective is turning on its head, literally. And so from that place of safety on the ceiling, you can allow the earth underneath to give way, because what is happening is the old way is falling apart. And this goes individually, this goes nationally, this goes internationally, globally. All the the old structures of what we used to think reality was are falling away. So we're kind of in that in-between part where we know we can't depend on the old system any longer, but the new way hasn't completely made itself known yet. But there is promise in the shaking up, in the crumbling. It's interesting because I go to Gaia's temple here in Seattle, and we just had our monthly service this past Sunday, and part of the topic was Kali, the goddess Kali, the Dark Mother. She's the creator and the destroyer, right? And we tend to, it so perfectly fits bat, because we think bat and it's like, oh my God, the darkness, and oh God, they're going to get in my hair, I'm going to get rabies. It's like, for the most part, I do know I have a number of goth friends who are bats, and they are adorable. I love bats, But for the most part, it's like something to be avoided because it's dark, it's mysterious, just like the divine feminine, right? And so like with Kali, most of the imagery is of her as the destroyer, like that darkness, that uncontrolled feminine, that rage and anger is something to be feared, and we focus on that rather than that the only reason things crumble and are destroyed is because there's something being created to take its place. If there were nothing to take over from it, things would stay the same. It would be the status quo. But if things are falling apart, it's because there necessarily is something else pushing its way into reality. I actually had a personal encounter with Kali. I went to see one of my mentors, and one of the things he asked me, he was like, okay, tell me about your guides that you're afraid of. And I wasn't sure what exactly I was like, I love my guides. There's nothing he's like, no, but what about the ones that are dark? And I can't remember exactly what his words were, but I just kind of like, oh, you mean Kali, don't you? And he just kind of nodded. And so he is of an Eastern European tradition, and so he gave me a whole different method, a whole different way to do the shamanic journey rather than using the drum like I normally do. And because he was like, Kali is not someone you want to be beating your drum and just burst onto the scene. So he gave me these directions of laying on the earth, and part of it was I had to have my head in a tree, like a tree with a hole in at the bottom. Fortunately, I knew of a tree like that, and fortunately, it was far enough off the path through the woods that even if someone had come along, they probably wouldn't have seen me laying there with my head in a tree. But the drum beat was basically my heartbeat against the earth. It was like syncing up the heartbeat of the earth with my own heartbeat. And that was the drum that carried me to the other realm. And I found myself in this huge underground cavern. I'm on the edge of it, kind of peeking out from behind a stalagmite. And across the way in this big stone throne was Kali. And she knew I was there. She saw me and she waved me forward. So I went running across that space to her throne. And as I was running, I realized I was like 5 or something like that. I was just a little kid. And I get to the throne and I just leapt up onto her lap, and she grabbed me with all 4 arms and just held me. And I think that is one of the times that I have felt the most safe in my entire life, being held by Kali. Because we forget about the compassionate, loving mother that she is. She's the cosmic mother. And so I asked her, like, what, do you have anything to teach me? Do you have anything to tell me? And her reply was, she was still holding me with two arms, and she took her other 2 hands and basically parted her, like she reached into her chest and pulled it apart, revealing kind of a space scene with like this big old spiral galaxy. And she said, humans tend to talk about birth and death, creation and destruction, as 2 sides of the same coin. but they keep focusing on the two separate sides, and no one puts them together and remembers that it's one coin, that death and birth are the same exact event. Things have to die for other things to be born. It's that constant transience, things transforming from one to another. And so it was so profound, because it's like there really is no death and there really is no birth. It's like it's all one thing. It's like change, like in Zen Buddhism, and they talk about how everything is transitional. Everything is transitional. Everything is temporary, especially in this world, which is just an illusion. And, who you are right now is not the same person you were 10 years ago, a year ago, even a month ago. You are a whole different person. And so parts of you have to die for the new parts to be born. And because you need to make space for the new. It's like when I'm doing soul retrieval, I always tell people beforehand that once we make that appointment for a soul retrieval session, that is when the healing begins. And that's the point where the old issues might start surfacing, that old stuff might be coming to the surface, because your soul parts the soul parts that are coming back are starting to press in, and be like getting into a full bathtub and pushing the water out. Those soul parts are coming in and pushing out all the crap and issues that have collected in that space where they're supposed to be. So when your world is falling apart, that is what's happening. The new world, the new life, your new soul parts or whatever are pushing in, making their presence known, and they are pushing out all the old crap that has collected there in the meantime. So it's not that your world is falling apart, you're not being punished, it's not karma, it's it's a symptom of healing. It's a part of the healing process. And those things are coming up not to punish you, not because you didn't deal with them, but because they're ready to leave. If they're coming up, they're already on their way out. And all you have to do is, again, ground to spirit. Connect to spirit. Keep in that alignment, that centeredness to know who you are, because none of that outside is who you are. And once you're centered in yourself and have that alignment going, you can let go of the outside world and allow it to take shape in whatever way is proper. The other thing, there's so many things. Another thing about that is the fact of the darkness, right? I was talking about like Kali and the dark mother, the dark goddess, and we fear the dark because we don't know, we can't see where we're going. We don't know what's ahead of us. And so, number one, if this is your card, you probably will notice your intuition, like your psychic abilities or whatever, is starting to kick up a notch or two. Because they're not totally blind, but they don't use their eyes very much. They don't have very keen eyesight because they depend on that sonar. They send out the sonar. That's why they have such big ears, because then that sonar comes back and they navigate from the sound waves. And if you think of that as the vibrations we put out, how it connects us to the entire universe, it's about navigating from those higher senses, from the intuition and the synchronicities. That is your compass. That is your navigational. And so it's dark for a reason, because it's to kickstart your higher abilities, to start depending more on your heart rather than your eyes. Again, the darkness is not evil. Darkness is not bad. The darkness is the womb of the mother. And if you think about it symbolically, any time you go into a cave or into the earth, into the ground, you're re-entering the womb of the earth mother. The darkness is the darkness of the womb. You are being reformed. You are being reconstituted. You are being rearranged. You are getting ready to be born. So in that darkness, counter to how we are taught, we're taught to focus on the worst case scenario. Oh my God, I don't want to know what's going to happen. This is going to be the worst thing ever. And we focus on everything we don't want and the worst case scenario and bringing up all the fear. But in that darkness, that is the birth point. And in that point, there is an infinite number of futures available. There is an unlimited number of directions to go in. And being in the dark, when you're, like I've said this earlier, like I think I even mentioned it last week, I don't remember what card, I don't think it was Bat. But anyway, when it's dark, when you find yourself in darkness, when there's no clear path ahead, it's time to rest. It's time to turn inward. It's time to dream. It's time to start, utilizing all the skills that we have gained on our spiritual path. It gets dark and we're disoriented. That is exactly the time to start using all those skills that you've been practicing, all the visualization, all the self-healing, whatever it is, the divination skills as navigation. Because this is what we're practicing for. If you get to the dark and then you're like, oh my God, I need to bring in the light and light everything up, then you're throwing away all that work, all that effort that you put into growing, into evolving yourself to who you're supposed to be. Like I've said before, the greatest decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. If you're on a spiritual path, and the basis of every spiritual path is love. It's oneness. It's connection. It's learning how connected everything and everyone is. So if we're all connected, we're all part of the same creative energy, the same creative source, we live in a friendly universe, then every time we find ourselves in darkness, there is purpose. It's not by accident. It's not punishment. There is purpose, and it's the gateway to your next episode of your adventure. So, and it's not even just regaining hope. It's the promise. Light always follows darkness. Day always follows night. Calm always follows the storm. If you're in darkness right now, day is just a moment away. So embrace that darkness. Embrace the creativity of this moment. This is the most pregnant moment you have ever been in, and the possibilities are infinite. Start to focus on what you want. not on what you don't want. Focus on the world you want to be in. Focus on the person you want to be in this life. Now is the time to use those abilities and skills that you've been nurturing all these years. Okay? All right. Number 2. 2 is the Badger. Badger is about tenacity. Badger is basically a little tank who knows exactly where he's going, and he will go over, through, under, around, whatever it takes to get where he's going. There is nothing that can stop him. Like the Energizer Bunny, he just keeps going and going and going. Through hell or high water, he's going to get where he's going. So if this is your card, know that the universe is providing you the necessary gumption to get where you are going. Don't give up. Like my matron goddess is Artemis. And she's always telling me, don't give up, just surrender. And that, in a nutshell, is the message of Badger. Know that you set your destination, like I've said before, the universe is like a giant GPS. You set your intention, you set your destination, where you want to go, who you want to be, and then you surrender to the directions, those intuitive nudges that come one step at a time. And by sticking with it, one step at a time, one set of directions at a time, okay, go for 500 feet, turn left, go for a mile, turn right. The universe isn't going to give you the instructions for the entire way to get there. It's going to give you one at a time. And so Badger has the tenacity to just keep at it, knowing, having that undeniable faith that he is going to achieve that. He is going to reach that goal, because it's not up to him how to get there. The universe carries you there, tells you exactly where to go, how far to go. And if you turn the wrong way, just like your GPS, the universe goes rerouting and will guide you back to center, to the quickest, easiest path to get where you're going. And in this way, you avoid a lot of the pitfalls and the obstacles and the other things that might stand in your way. You know, you might feel like you're going like a couple of miles out of your way to get to where you're going, but you can trust that it's the quickest and easiest path to get there, because like if you went straight ahead, there might be something there that will hold you up indefinitely. You know, it's like, I remember reading Dr. Wayne Dyer talking about someone complaining because they got stuck behind a stoplight, you know, and it took so long for the light to turn, and he was like, well, that stoplight just saved your life. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you didn't know it, but there was a car that like lost its brakes and came careening around that corner up ahead, and if that light had been green when you got to that intersection, you would have been dead. So it's like, we rail against what happens when we rail against the natural unfolding of our paths, but everything that happens is our next step to get to our destination. And the universe has that higher vision, that global vision of what it's going to take to get there and what the best routes are. And so if you follow your intuition, it might take a little longer maybe, but it's going to be more easily and effortless than if you override your intuition and just use logic and say, well, I need to do it. It's in that direction, so I need to go this way. And boom, a tree falls on you or something, right? So trust your intuition. The how to get there is not your responsibility. Just setting the destination. And know that come hell or high water, you will get there. It's a promise. Just like the day following night, it is a promise. If Badger is your card, that you are going to get where you're going. All right. Oh, we might have time for the meditation tonight. Number 3. This one has been coming up a lot lately in readings. Number 3 is grouse. Grouse is about the spiral dance. You know, the spiral dance is the dance of life. Everything works in a spiral. And if you know anything about fractals, about sacred geometry, the spiral is probably the oldest known sacred symbol that we have. And the spiral is in everything. You know, the spiral, and here's the fractals. Fractals is one of, when they, you know, those videos where you keep going in and in and in to an image, and it just keeps coming at you, and it's like the same patterns. They start small and they just keep getting bigger, and then there's more and they're coming at you. That is fractals. It's the smallest and the biggest. It's the macro, what is it? The macroverse and the microverse. And the spiral is what ties everything together. From the biggest spiral galaxies to hurricanes and thunderstorms to seashells and pine cones and even down into our DNA, a double helix spiral of our DNA. So grouse is the dancer of the spiral. It's this vibrancy, this quickening of new life. And I'm just tuning in. I'm like trying to decipher what grouse is telling me at the moment. It's the celebration of life. It's dancing. Life is a dance, just like I said earlier about the transitional properties of the universe, of the world, how everything is in transition. Everything is in movement. If something stops moving, it dies. So even in the coldest ice, there is still movement, no matter how slow. But it's the dance of life. If life doesn't dance, it's no longer life. So it's this celebration. It's dancing the different forms, dancing from one being into another being. It all ties together back to back, what I was saying. It's like, that is in the cave. This is the birth. This is setting those goals while you're in the dark, knowing you're going to get there. And this is the celebration of that life, of who you are as a divine being of light. And it's a celebration of you as a unique individual in this matrix of creative energy. A lot of times it's like these things come into my head and it's like so big I don't know if I can put it to words, but we are all different facets of divinity, right? And grouse celebrates that individual within the bigger picture. It's about dancing to your own drum beat. Grouse are drummers. I actually woke up, I was on a vision quest dozen or so years ago, and I woke up in the woods and the grouse were around. I didn't see them, and I actually don't know that I actually technically heard them, but I felt the drumming of their wings against my chest. When they beat their wings in such a way that it creates the same phenomenon as thunder. Like when the air becomes supercharged and it like, and then it bangs back together. When grouse beats his wings, he creates that same kind of vacuum, and that air slams back together so that it's not so much audible as it is palpable. And so there's a big connection between grouse and the heartbeat, namely your heartbeat. You are a unique individual. You are here because of that uniqueness, and your uniqueness is your gift to the world. And so dance to the beat of your own drum. Provide the drum beat that is yours alone. I had a reading today with someone, and she was, I know she was a gifted, intuitive astrologer, reader, etc., but she was afraid to put herself out there because the world wasn't ready, or the world doesn't accept it, or, you know, and I told her it's about expressing yourself, expressing that uniqueness. And when you put your voice out there, when you put that drum beat out there, you draw to yourself those who are meant to support you, not necessarily financially support you, but those who can come from, who are in a similar vibe, who are at a similar frequency of yours, so that they can support you, body and soul, and celebrate your uniqueness because of their own, because they are whole unto themselves, and they can support your wholeness. So don't wait for the world to give you permission. You are a unique being. The world needs your voice. The world needs your heartbeat, your drum beat. It's essential. The world needs it. Don't wait for permission. I hereby officially give you permission to be yourself. You are allowed to be who you are, your unique heartbeat, your unique drum beat, every weird little perky thing about you. I celebrate, I love, and the world needs it. You are here for a purpose. You are here to shine your light. That little red thing on the side of his neck, that is an air sac. He's got another one on the other side. And when he's dancing, those fill with air and they blow up bigger than his head. Let your true colors show. Just here I am, and dance. And through that dance, that is how you awaken the world. That drum beat of your dance. Others might not hear it, but they're going to feel it. And it's going to get their own heart dancing. And so on, and so on, and so on. That's how we heal the world. That's how we change the world. So dance. Don't be shy. You are meant to be seen. You are meant to be heard. Your voice matters. Okay? All right, and we do have time. So we are going to do a guided shamanic journey. Okay, let me... I guess we're gonna pulling out the big drums. I've got my other drum here, but drumsticks in the other room, so we're gonna use our big old horse drum. So what we are going to do, as I said before, everything I just said for you is secondhand words, secondhand news. It's hearsay. That doesn't mean that it doesn't resonate with you, but it's still hearsay. And as a shaman, my job is to empower others. It's to teach others how to hear their own guidance, right? Shamanism is a practice of direct revelation. The point is to teach others how to connect directly to spirit, directly to their own guidance, and get their own messages. So I'm going to lead you on a little shamanic journey to go in and connect with whichever animal. Sorry, people keep texting me. I keep getting distracted. So we're going to journey in so that you can connect with whichever animal chose to walk with you this week and find out from them what their direct message is for you. Okay? So go ahead and close your eyes. I'm just going to beat my drum, the background, that heartbeat. Close your eyes. Let the weight off your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. And let it go. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Take another deep breath in and hold it. Let it go. And feel the floor or the chair or the couch, whatever surface you are sitting on, relinquish your weight to that surface. You can trust the earth to carry your weight. Relax into it. And now bring your awareness to the middle of your forehead, your third eye, and just as if it were one of your other two, open it up and look out into your imagination. You find yourself on the edge of a meadow, on the edge of the tree line, with the forest to your back, this beautiful meadow of waving grasses and buzzing insects stretching out in front of you. And in the middle of this meadow, you see this great flat rock, just begging, just inviting you to come sit. So make your way across this meadow, feeling the grasses brush against your legs and against your fingertips. Feel the breeze as it blows past you, creating beautiful waves in the grass. See the multicolored butterflies and dragonflies zipping and fluttering around. Feel the warmth of the sun on your face as you make it to this great rock. And once there, go ahead and crawl up, sit on this rock, find your place of comfort, feel the sun-warmed stone beneath you. feel the warmth of the sun on your head, the coolness of the breeze against your cheek, listening to the buzz of the insects, hearing the sound of birds from the trees around the perimeter of this meadow. And as we sit here, we invite the animal that chose to walk with you or fly with you in this week. Let them come. Might come from the ground, they might come from the air. And we invite them in. And once they arrive, greet them, welcome them, thank them for coming, scratch them under the chin or behind the ears if appropriate. If for some reason you are uncomfortable with their form, ask them to present themselves in a form that is non-threatening to you, so that you may talk. And now look them in the eyes and ask them, what is the message they have for you? What is it they came to help you with in this coming week? What strength, what wisdom do they have for you? So I will be silent for a moment or two while you ask and receive your message. So it comes time to say goodbye for now, not goodbye forever, for no matter what, they are with you always. So thank them again for coming to meet you. Thank them for the information, for the message. Give them a last scritch under the chin, behind the ears, whatever, and allow them to return where they came from. And know that if no one showed up, there is no doing this wrong. The timing may be off, that might not be appropriate for them to present themselves here and now in the welcome back, everyone. Someone said they lost audio. My low power thing came on. I'm wondering if that broke the, maybe that I lost audio because of that. So I hope that was meaningful for you. I hope you got something from that. Please feel free to let me know what animals showed up, what their message was in the comments. I love hearing about people's experiences, and it's actually really difficult for me to do this online because I so love hearing the stories right away of what happened, what people found out, because it just, people come back with the most amazing stories. And if for some reason the audio did break off partway through that, feel free to go back. I know last week I didn't have time for the guided meditation, but I believe 2 weeks ago I did. So I'm going to share this to my Facebook page as well as upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. And on that channel, I have over 2 years worth of these videos. So not last week's, but I believe the week before, I did do the meditation. So if it didn't follow through here on this one, I apologize for the technical difficulties and direct you back to a couple of weeks ago. You can just fast forward the video until you see me pull out the drum, and then that'll be just as powerful now as it was then, and just as applicable. So that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, good. Valerie says it was on until saying goodbye to the animals, so hopefully you made it back. So come on. If you were left hanging, come back fully to your body in three-dimensional reality. Wiggle your fingers and toes around. Come back completely, fully aware, awake. And present. Okay, I hope you all made it back. And I hope you enjoyed tonight. I'm here every Monday night at this time. Feel free to share this video, invite your friends, tag your friends if you think someone might get, if it might be useful for someone else, tag them in the comments. Know that I am here to support the community that supports me. You can visit my website at perchingwolfstudios.net and see what shamanic services and healings and readings, etc. that I offer. Check out, see what might resonate with you, see what I might be able to offer you to help empower you along your path. I love my job. This is my passion. I love it. I love you. I love helping people. So please reach out if there's anything I can do to aid you in your enlightenment, in your unfolding. If you would like a full reading for yourself, where you get 5 cards, all to yourself, all pointed at you and what's going on in your life, let me know. I love nothing more than helping people find clarity and empowerment. What else? I also do a Facebook Live video on Wednesday nights where I do the sacred pipe ceremony. So if that sounds like something you'd like to tune into, if you've never been to a pipe ceremony, please join me in setting sacred space for others to set their intentions, set their prayers, and connect straight to Great Spirit through the most sacred ceremony I know of. So check that out on Wednesday nights at 7. And otherwise, I hope you come back next week. Bring your friends. Also, because this is my full-time job, I gratefully, with wholehearted gratitude, accept donations. I have my PayPal link in the description under this video. If you feel so moved to send me $1, a couple bucks, whatever, I thank you so much for that. Thank you for supporting me and watching these videos and sharing these videos. Like I said, this is one of the highlights of my week, and I just thoroughly enjoy this. No matter how tired I am when I get home, I always look forward to doing this. So thank you for your presence, for your energy, for adding to the vitality, to that dance of celebration of this night. So thank you, everyone. I will see you soon. Hopefully you come back. And until that time, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll see you soon. Go shining. All right. Goodbye, everybody.